Hello, Jenny. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to interview you.
Yes, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. So, friends, we have Jenny Peterson, who is a chronic illness coach who helps people heal and trust their body. I underline heal and trust their body so they can break free from chronic mental, physical, and emotional conditions. She is a GHK practitioner, speaker, teacher, and founder of the MBR program. After resolving Lyme digestive problems, panic attacks, skin issues, and much more. Like you have a very long list which you have worked on yourself and healed, Janek, and much more using the same neuroplasticity techniques that she teaches. She knew that she had to help others get back their life and health too. Her mission is to bring a solution to a world where so many are suffering emotionally and physically with chronic illness by shining a light on the body's ability to heal when unconscious stress is released. That's amazing mission you have, Jenny. So how did it all started? Like what was were you going through extreme stress when you had your Lyme issue and all that stuff, or like what helped you did you visit doctors? Like, what was the breakthrough and coming up your own MBR program, etc.? So, please tell about your journey.
Okay. So my explosion of health issues happened kind of all at one time, and it was right around the time when there was a lot of stress going on in my life. We were moving. I had recently sold my health and wellness center, and I really felt lost. I didn't know what I was doing in my life. I didn't feel like just being a mom was good enough. I felt like I needed to do something more. And then we moved, and the moving process was stressful because my husband was gone and I had to do the cleaning and the packing and the selling of the house and everything. And I literally woke up one day and became ill overnight. I had my first panic attack. And from my first panic attack, from there, it just went downhill and ended up having chronic. It's really hard to remember. So if I feel like I'm not getting the list, it's because I don't remember a lot of it anymore. That's why I put the list on my website, because
Yes.
it's
Actually, when
there.
I was scrolling back, are you kidding me, Jenny? What
Yes,
is this list? A person has gone through this much.
right. But once the ball started rolling, I just started accumulating more and more,
Right.
because ultimately what was at the core of that is I was in a place of fear, and from that place of fear, then I started questioning my body, and that just caused more and more problems as it kept going on, and eventually was diagnosed with Lyme disease. So I went doctor to doctor. I was a holistic practitioner myself. My type of protocol didn't work anymore. I went to other practitioners that were like me, and then I ended up going to the medical world because I'm like, I'm missing something. I haven't tried the medical, tried that way, and it ended up just bringing me further into the hole. Was diagnosed with a lot of different things. The Lyme disease was one of the biggest ones, but that even wasn't diagnosed by the medical world. It was still by an MD, but he was more of a holistic MD, and had all the tests and everything done, and that's where that came up. On top of that, anxiety, panic attacks, hormonal issues, digestive issues, skin issues, just feeling very, very scared all the time and anxious. That anxiety feeling consumed my life. And it wasn't until none of these other things worked that I said, I'm missing something. And I don't know how, when you're in that state, you're Googling like every single day, right? You're Googling what is my problem, everything else. And I ran into mind body work that was subconscious, programs that are connected to your health, and started diving into that, and was eventually led to doing mind body work on a small level. And then from there, for some reason, I got distracted and bought myself a biofeedback machine, which I was sold on it because the person told me it would help me with my emotions, because I knew deep down, like, this was emotional, and I bought this $15,000 biofeedback machine. We didn't have any money because we sold everything. we sold everything in order for me to get well. So we had to go to the bank and ask for money and basically say that this was going to be used for my business because they didn't know I was sick. So we used this machine, bought this machine, got a loan for it. And this machine I became addicted to because you scan yourself every day, or you're not supposed to scan yourself every day, but I did. And I scanned myself every day and it would tell me, this is what supplement I needed. This is what was going on with my liver, my digestion. And I became addicted to it to the point where I was on it all the time. And it just soothed my fear for some reason whenever I would go on it. And my husband got to see that I was becoming addicted to it. And he says, you need to sell it, get rid of it. It's not helping you. But before I did that, before I sold it, I went and took a class to learn how to use this machine. And it was at this class, which I had to get on a plane and go across the country when I felt like I was dying to go to this class. I was in a horrible condition, but I was brought to a teacher that teaches German New Medicine. And she was teaching a course within this machine learning course. Okay. So it was like I was brought to her in a really, really roundabout way. But as soon as she started to speak, I knew that this was my answer. And when I came home, I said, I found my solution. It's not my machine. I'm getting rid of my machine and I'm learning German New Medicine. So I learned German New Medicine, became had coaches work with me on my own subconscious patterns that were connected to my own physical things. And then once I did those, I also then took my course to be a practitioner for GNM. So that's my story. Not to say that I wasn't sick on some, I didn't have health issues before this all exploded. I did have health issues, but they weren't to this extent. It wasn't this big old ball of stuff.
Wow. So you did a lot of research and you have gone through a lot.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So then a very simple question here comes, like, let's say you are a chronic illness coach. Someone is already under medication and some medical guidance they are going through. Still, in parallel, can they take your coaching and get benefited as well?
That's a yes or no question.
Okay.
That's where I have to really have a one-on-one discussion with somebody and to know what they're taking. So that's where my training from the past has really come into play really nicely. Okay. Is I know the supplement world, I know the medication world, and I know what supplements and medications do. And so if they're on a certain type of medication, and most medications cause your nervous system to be in what is called a conflict state. And you can't heal in that state. So you don't have to be off of medications. We can help you with guidance and then with your doctor to help get off of those if that is your big goal. And that's the best way to get results, is by ultimately getting off of those at some point if possible.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And really, you have also developed a program called Mbr Program. Could you please tell more about it? What does that mean?
Yeah, the Mbr program stands for Mind Body Rewire. And basically what we're doing, Mind Body Rewire, we're rewiring it all because we have to take everything that's been wired into us, which if we think about it, the way we're operating today is all the programs that we have wired into our nervous system to create survival, to help us survive. And some of those survival programs are healthy and some of those programs are not so healthy. And we have to determine which survival programs that we're using to keep ourselves safe, but not per se allowing us to move forward in our life, are connected to our health. And that's what I love about German New Medicine, is German New Medicine I incorporate with my program, where we know specifically, because it's scientifically proven within the brain, what location in the brain is connected to what specific health issue. And so if someone has a certain health issue, like let's say digestive issues, I know that they have a way of dealing with life with most likely anger. And they've had situations in their life that have supported that pattern. So we're going to work on that pattern. So the Mind Body Rewire program, we're finding everything, all your subconscious programs that are connected to your symptoms, unwiring them and then rewiring you to whatever you want to be, which is healthier programs.
This is something fascinating, right?
Mhm.
Very unique, amazing. So usually, like after you got healed and you developed your own program and all that, what kind of benefits people are experiencing with this MBR program and German new medicine combined all together? Actually?
Well, when I work with myself and my coaches, after 6 months, we do an intense 6-month program. And if
Okay.
you think about it, if you're 40 years old or you're 50 or 30, that's 30, 40, 50 years of programming that you've had that we
Okay.
work every single day to unwire those old patterns. And at the end of 6 months, we've had people come into my program with over 30 symptoms and leave with 0. And that's
Wow.
our goal, is to have you leave with 0 symptoms as close as possible. There are some times where other symptoms may take a little bit longer to clean up. Doesn't mean we haven't worked on them. We just have to allow the body to do its thing. So at the end of 6 months, it's my goal that that person is back to normalcy, is back to living life, rather than, having the illness be a part of their everyday life.
Seriously, 30 symptoms turning into 0 by the end of 6 months. Wow.
Yep, both of our coaches. We've had more than just our coaches, but we have 2 coaches that work for me. And Tania came in with over 30, and Michelle came in with 50. And Tania was down to eating only 3 foods, and she had to shower in filtered water. She couldn't eat anything, drink anything, hardly. She thought she was going to starve of die of starvation. So it's not uncommon that people come in with that list of symptoms. But here's the ticket, is that a lot of those symptoms are connected to really 4 core programs, 4 to 5 core programs that everybody is running on. So if you have a belief of like, I'm not good enough, that will show up in probably a lot of those symptoms. So we work on these core beliefs, a lot of the programs that they're operating off of, and a lot of the symptoms go with that. We don't have to work on each individual symptom.
Okay, okay, okay. And all you are working is non-medicative process.
Correct. And I don't even recommend supplements. I used to make a living selling supplements. Now I'm telling people it's best that you get off of them if you can. We want to allow the body to do what it's supposed to do. But here again, when someone comes in, we'll take a look at what list of things they're taking. I'll tell them what is beneficial, what is going to possibly interfere with their healing, and then they can make a choice from there. But ultimately, we don't want you taking anything if possible, because your body really does know how to heal. We just need to get out of the way.
Okay, okay. Wonderful. That's interesting, Jenny. Amazing. That to non-medicative process, and you are doing such a great job. And Jenny, one more thing: is it like a person should come to you face to face, or you work with clients across the world, even through online as well?
Oh, yes. I don't think anybody could survive nowadays without having a business online, right?
Mhm.
So we have people from all different countries that work with us. We have a German-speaking coach, so we've got people from Europe, Germany. We've had people from Australia, all over the world, which is amazing in itself that we're able to help people, anywhere with this work. I started off in my home, just working with people coming into my home, but then gradually got larger.
Okay, okay. Like other therapists, like there are like acupuncture, EFT practitioners, hypnotherapists. Like who, generally, what I mean is some people specialize with wellness related who work clients. Do they can they contact you in collaboration to enhance their skills or something, Jenny? To work or to associate with your programs or something?
At this point, I don't have that. I have that request coming at me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We are so busy with our clientele, with those with chronic illness right now. We're just trying to get that to be established and be solid. And that is our next step, is to be training practitioners to basically, use my system, use my program to help their clients. So that's coming. But at this point, it's basically, we can put you on a waiting list just because we're not there quite yet.
Okay. Or else maybe they can refer their clients to you in case they need that they want their clients to become better or something like that, because not one
Right,
single
right.
person cannot do everything.
Right, right. So, if a person feels that, people that are chronically ill require a program like what I have. They don't get better with one-on-one sessions every once in a while. You need to work with them every day, because every day you have to basically reprogram their behaviors, the way they think. If you only randomly do that once a month or every couple of weeks, you're just not going to get results. So the one-time sessions are just not effective in the case of someone with chronic illness, because their thinking patterns also have to be worked on. So if you run into somebody, if there's a practitioner that is running into somebody that has chronic illness, you're better off putting them into or recommending them to a program like ours. And then there are those that come to me that, they only have one issue, and I'll recommend them to other practitioners, because with one, they don't need to do a 6-month program,
Yes.
with me. With one, it's usually pretty simple that we can help them, and I can guide them to other GNM practitioners. So that's another option as well. It's just knowing what I specialize in, and if that client isn't meeting that, then I definitely can hand that off to someone that can help them just as well and not have to do my type of program.
And this is unique. Generally, we see like weekly ones or monthly ones, but every single day for 6 months is a lot of intensive work, isn't it?
It is intense. You're not doing like deep level work every day. You are still having one-on-one sessions with your coach about every 3 weeks, but it's the work in between that we give you the tools, and you get a worksheet every single day that helps you become aware of your patterns to work on. So you're working on you and your thinking patterns while we work on your deep stuff in those sessions. And that combination really rewires everything.
Wow.
But it does require commitment. It requires
Yes.
someone that, is taking an hour a day, which what is an hour if it means that you're going to get your life and health back? About an hour a day to commit to doing the work.
Awesome. Awesome. At least they have to. 1 hour is obviously out of 24 hours. 1 hour for a better health it makes sense, Jenny. Wonderful.
Right,
So,
right.
so this is what I have been awaiting. See, Jenny, what my intention to create these type of interviews was, at one place people have to they should be able to find out the right expert, and then at one place they're like, whoever is wanting to get well, or like, okay, let me search for a wellness coach, or let me search for someone who specializes in helping in chronic health issues. So audience can reach out to experts like you, and it was amazing to know about your story where you have healed yourself, and then person who was sick once, who did lot of research, got healed, and now helping people worldwide to get well. That's an amazing and very inspiring work that you are doing, and like working with some person for 6 months. It needs a lot of dedication as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. I'm myself and my coaches, we want it for our students probably more than what they want it. So we're a team. We all work together to help the client go from A to B and guide them, not force them. Again, it all comes with the client wanting to do the work. We're there to guide, but we're not there to do the work. They're there to do the work, and we're there to meet them halfway with the guidance. And there's so much reward in this work, because we're not just helping this one person. When we work, this person changes, it changes their family, it changes their generational patterns, it changes the world. If we want a better world, we need to unprogram the crap that we've been programmed with. That's the reality. So
unprogram the crap. maybe
yes.
maybe you can rename your program or add a subtitle of
That would be a good one. Reprogram your crap.
Wonderful, Jenny. It was awesome. So, friends, what I'm going to do is make Jenny's contact details available in the YouTube description, and people whoever wants to reach out, or and you might have seen someone going through various health issues. You may also suggest Jenny so that they can get well and make their lives better.
Hmm.
And
Thank you. I
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah. And Jenny, let's say like you are working no medicines are involved, complete non-medicative process. Still, let's say someone has not reached out to you. I'm just watching this interview. Could you please give some basic suggestions so that people who are going through certain health issues, or just people who want to maintain their health better, some basic tips you want to give to people?
Sure. Uh, First and foremost is be aware of your thoughts,
Okay.
because your brain body are connected. Your body cannot do anything without it be given permission from the brain first. So we've really got to be caught. We got to be aware and conscious of what we're thinking first and foremost. So someone that is a typical person is walking around with a lot of bad thoughts all day long. And those bad thoughts are sending messages to your body. So be aware of what you're thinking. And then second of all, my second tip would definitely be learn to trust your body rather than fear it. Our bodies are so intelligent. They know exactly what needs to be done to heal. The problem is we get in the way of it. We think we know better. My earpiece is falling out here. We think we know better. We interfere so much with it. And I often give the example of when you have a cut, because a cut is a healing process that's really no different than a healing process in the colon, healing process of the liver, whatever it may be. We don't do anything with a cut besides put a Band-Aid on to protect it, to allow it to do its healing process. And we've got to really do the same thing with everything else. The problem is, for some reason, we have separated a cut from IBS or from, a skin issue, that these things need different attention than a cut does. And that's really not true. But a cut oftentimes doesn't have mental connections to it because it's often just an accident. These other things that are going on in our bodies, that are back to our organ and body systems, are going to be connected to some type of psyche conflict, a conflict within the mind. So that's what needs to be worked on rather than focusing on the symptom. So my second tip is learn to trust your body, learn to understand your body. Your body is basically a survival. It's operating off of survival, and your symptoms are a biological response to that survival.
Okay.
And once we understand that, if you look at all the animals, all of nature, we're no different. They're all operating off of survival. So when we see our body in that way, we can start to trust it and know that it's there and designed to keep us safe and to, heal in the way that it's designed to heal. So those are my two tips. Trust and look out for your thoughts. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jenny, once again for your time. And it is such an inspiring to know, there are some coaches who are available for chronic illnesses as well, and helping people to get out of their chronic health issues in non-medicative ways is highly inspiring, and also seems like this is a good news as well. So people who are on long-term medications for years and years. Okay, Jenny, I have one more question before I conclude. I promise this is my last question.
Okay.
Some people say, let's say, only not about the physical health issues. There could be some people suffering from mental health issues also from ages, like from 10 years, 20 years, or they could be on some psychiatric medication as well because of whatever could be the past trauma and all that. Even in such cases, people can become drug free and also get well by help of these processes that you incorporate in your work, Jenny?
Yes, because everything's connected in the brain.
Okay.
So you cannot have a mental illness without there being psyche conflict that is connected to it.
Okay.
And that's why I love German New Medicine, and Dr. Hammer has laid that all out. He had over 40,000 cases that every single case, he was able to find the location in the brain for every single quote unquote ailment that they had. And mental illness is no different than physical. There's still a connection in the brain. It's a biological response for survival.
So people with mental health conditions also can reach out.
Yeah, most people that have chronic issues, chronic health conditions, have something mental connected to it, because there's depression involved, there's anxiety involved, there's sometimes OCD, perfectionism, and that's all survival again. So it's still the same thing. They're not separate, and this is where our society or our medical world loves to separate mental issue from physical issues, and it's all the same. It's all starting from the brain. And we can't look at them as being any different than a physical imbalance.
Wow, wonderful. So this opens to a different discussion altogether, but you have summarized very nicely that yes, mind body are connected, and even the mental health issues also no different, because the brain is obviously involved. So yes, that answers the question in a very simple format. Thank you. So
Yes.
thank you once again, Jenny. It was wonderful talking to you, and it is like what I want to say is it's a good news, Jenny, to people like wow, say there is a help available, and they don't have to suffer lifelong with chronic health issues, and there is solution and experts like you. Thank you once again for your time, and I'm running short of words actually to
Okay.
say the kind of work you are doing. So. Wow. All I can say is just wow. Awesome.
Well, great. Well, I hope that, it definitely is intriguing to where it maybe leads you to searching out more. I do have a podcast as well, Simplify Your Healing Podcast, where I teach a lot of this, because this isn't easy to just put on a website page and say, here it all is, there's so much involved. So my podcast is where I do all my teaching. So learning more about what I do and the German new medicine and the brain are definitely, talked about there in more depth.
What I can do is, Jenny, does your podcast has a separate link, or is your podcast link available on the website, so that I can, for the easy search, I can give your podcast link as well in the YouTube description. Maybe that might be helpful. Jenny?
Yeah, I can send that to you. I have a separate link for my podcast and my website. It's on there, but you can always have it separate as well.
Yes, that could make the job easier. And thank you once again.
Yeah.
Bye, Jenny.
Yes. Bye-bye. Thank you.